Welcome to the Qualk Show. We are super excited tonight to have Summer Bingham with us from the Real L World and so much more after that. And we're going to be talking a little bit today about life on the show, life after the show, and what she's up to in her life right now. I know that I was creeping your social media earlier today, trying to get a feel for all the things, and I want to say first, right off the bat, I'd love for a personal rendition of Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now.
I think I'm even wearing the same shirt that I did.
I think you might be.
Oh my God, okay, y'all.
I think you might be.
This is very close to my heart. So.
I absolutely loved it because compared to the rest of your music that I was listening to and a lot of the stuff, I was like, this is epic. I love this right now.
Weren't you like, where is this coming? What happened?
And I think you said it was a dare.
Well,
or you were doing it for someone.
Yeah, I had posted because I was recording vocals one day, and sometimes to get something done, I might post on social media like, all right, I'm gonna do this now, and then it sort of holds me to it. And I was like, I wrote this song that I wanted to write a song like Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now. I want to write a fun pop song that you can do a stupid dance to. And then someone was like, let's see that dance. And I was like, easy, because I do it every time it comes on.
Well, I love it. And being from like that same age group back in the day, I mean, I was dancing to Tiffany in maybe junior high or high school, something like that. So it definitely brought back some memories.
I still see her when she goes on tour. Just saying.
Yep. Is it at a mall?
Definitely go. Ben Salem.
I love that.
Is she still doing mall tours? Because I really hope she is.
I mean, it's not.
I'm
it's
saying.
Not close theaters. But Debbie Gibson also came to the same theater, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
Sure. We're definitely showing our age right now.
When they're approaching Medicare, they're losing money. You gotta go to their shows. I'm saying.
Well, let's talk about a little bit of some newer music. I know that I actually was checking out the two bands that you have, and I want to know how you pronounce the name of the pop one. I think the second word is pleasure or pleaser.
Yeah, minor pleasure.
Minor pleasure. That makes sense.
Writing songs in minor keys, and someone was just like, that was dark. I don't know.
I love it. I was trying to figure it out all day, and I was like, I wonder what this stands for. And
I can't believe your extremely musical wife didn't slap you upside the head and go, what?
I know. Well, I mean, I've been with my wife for 10 years, so we no longer talk to each other.
Okay.
We're just like ships in the night. No. Speaking of which, you've been with your partner for 18 years?
I think that's right. I know we met in 2006, so I think we're working on 19. And if she listens to this and I mess up the math, I'm gonna be in trouble. But I think we're working on 19 years and then 14 years married.
Wow. Which is like 80 and gay, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm an elder.
Yeah. I think we all are at this point. So, you're most known for probably originally for being on the L Word, as far as especially in the queer community, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the really big things that I wanted to talk to you about personally is I was on a little show here in Canada called Big Brother Canada. And so I have a little taste of like the reality television game. And so I want to pick your brain, first of all, about, what that experience was like for you. What, made you want to do it? What did you get out of it? And what do you think about that experience now that it's gone and done?
Well, working backwards a little bit, I used to always, when I was younger, I would be like, I'm going to just do stuff for the story that you get after, or for the experience, or for the, just to try things. And so I still think about that time as just some crazy decision that I made where I was just like, this is going to be if nothing else, it's going to be a great story or something to look
for
at.
Sure.
Like, you got to say yes to a lot of stuff. I was really hesitant to do the show, and Vero and I had a lot of long talks about it because we both were like, we're a young band. I mean, you guys know, no spoiler alert, but like it didn't help us as people still trying to get to know each other as musicians and people. So we both were not really reality drawn at that time. I think it was kind of like, you know, it felt like inauthentic to us just being the like starving artist identity that just wants to make our cool music in the dark, in bedrooms. So I think ultimately it was because the band had accepted and I was in the band at the time, or I was joining the band at the time. So, but I would not have said no otherwise. Does that make sense? I feel like I just talked myself in circles.
No, it absolutely makes sense. And the band that you're talking about, I believe, is Hunter Valentine. Is that correct?
Yes. And I wanted to protect that part of it because music is so important to me. I didn't want to go on a reality show and potentially get that messed up. But it's hard to say no to like, hey, have this fun experience and get to fly around the world and, be on tour and meet cool people and, like be on television. I wasn't going to say no. It's just, it made us very nervous to do it as in that format. You know what I mean?
That absolutely makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. And talking about Hunter Valentine, it's interesting because that band was actually really influential in my life many years ago, not to age all of us again. But it was one of the first, for me, living up in Canada. I don't know if it was different in the States, but it was one of the first bands that really identified as, queer, with women. The songs were related to female relationships and things that I could really relate to. And I loved the band back in the day. So I'm glad that was your take, wanting to protect that and being a part of that going into it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing them on tour with the Clicks and being just so drawn. And I mean, there's nothing cooler than being in a band with a bunch of other queer women and getting to play for queer women and getting to like, I don't know, experience band life. And because I had been in bands with guys mostly, which was really terrible, unfortunately. Not always, but mostly. So I was so excited and drawn to that. And they were, we were becoming close friends. And so, some of their deep cuts were some of my favorite songs too. So,
Yeah, I read in one of your articles or an article that you were in that, it was really important for you to like live out loud so that other young people could see that and be out and be proud about that. And I know like I'm a COVID gay. I came out while I was during COVID and that whole experience. And I just like grew up in what would be like the south of Canada. And it wasn't something that you would see, it was on late night television or that sort of thing, and wasn't really seen as acceptable. So props to you for being out there.
You too. I'm glad that you got to, live now you get to live your truth, it's really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
It mattered that you all were really hot too.
I mean, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt.
And I want to add too, so I was a part of a group out of Philadelphia, Dinah Shore in Los Angeles. So it was just after the height of the real L Word. And our whole mission, my whole mission, because I was the director, was to find the hottest lesbian across the country. So I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of the cast members because they just wound up in my line in bikinis. And I was not upset about that. Like, it just wasn't. Yeah. It was a very good experience. And, it led to us bringing a lot of the cast members to Philadelphia and doing the bar scene thing. And then, it turns out a lot of my friends are friends with Rose now out of nowhere. So it was like really nice to be able to have sort of that crossover too, because it was the first time, if you really think about it, that you guys were accessible to fans like us in that way, right? So now it's just so transparent. You have Cameo, you can like talk to celebrities, you can interact, but that was like the first wave of it. So it was like really exciting in our community to be able to have people that look like us, that, that we could relate to, that were accessible. So
much better looking than me. Much better looking than me. They didn't look like us. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, the L Word the original L Word just exploded my brain. And so I think getting to like, in a way, even though it was reality television and you said you were on Big Brother in Canada, so, there can be some feelings of conflict where you're just like, oh, or is it real? Or do they push you? Do they script it a little bit behind the scenes or whatever? But still getting to be in in that legacy was also really important, you know, and getting, I mean, everybody got their own reality show. It was just like the Kardashians and all the house, like every housewife everywhere. So getting to see queer people also, you know, every now and then throw on a strap on and be themselves, like that's pretty cool too, you know?
Well, and like, I think Queer as Folk came out like before the L Word, and that was like the first like queer show. But the L Word was the first female, what's the word I'm looking for? Female leaning show on the air. And so I think like a lot of people connected to that and connected to the characters. And then the real L Word just is even better because it's unscripted, it's drama, it's real life. And I mean, that was kind of the beginning of not just that show, but in that era of reality television, really.
Yeah.
Wasn't the real L Word the first queer LGBT reality TV show at all, correct?
Predominantly lesbian show, yeah. Like that, you, from a reality perspective, I mean, there were always like people that were out on shows. I mean, even The Real World had,
right.
Ruthie Allisade. She was one of the first lesbians that was public, and having the opportunity to have a conversation with her because I hired her for an event once. I mean, that was a lot of pressure for her, right? Because she was like the lesbian for the longest time, and she's like, I didn't sign up for this. I'm just trying to graduate college. So, and then we saw Tila Tequila. We had Danny on that show. And so like Danny got a lot of pressure like behind her. Every time she would go to a bar, people would be like, oh my God.
There was even like one or two on each randomly if we got lucky. And then the real L Word came out and then it blew up.
Yeah, the real L Word took a lot of, people from different persuasions in our community and was like, here you go. And don't forget to be friends and don't sleep with each other all of the time.
We used to have parties every Sunday night watching it. We'd have, rotate homes and just sit there and watch it as a group of lesbians just sitting there drinking, shooting the shit, and watching the real L Word. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and what fun it is to like be part of something so iconic in not only the lesbian community but the queer community, right? Like, so after that, like very quickly after the L Word, you left Hunter Valentine, correct?
Yeah, I mean, really during filming, like that was
filming.
That was a real. I don't know if you guys remember. We were so hungover. We went out, and the cracks were beginning to form, and I think everyone knew the direction things were going. And the production company made us all meet the next morning, and we were supposed to have the talk, but we were too hungover to fight. It was kind of like. Yeah, it didn't work out. Can someone please give me some Tylenol or something, or just kill me?
I think I remember that.
Can't. So if you
that's epic.
See it again, just remember we were all just dead, like dead inside.
That's epic. I love that.
Yeah.
And then did you form your new band immediately after that, or you had that formed beforehand and then went into Hunter Valentine?
I actually had a band formed, a punk grunge band. And that also was sort of a victim of the reality show because the person I was with at the time, the drummer, I was flaking a lot. I was like having to drop the ball for, filming or promo or whatever. And she got very frustrated. So that was like my second victim of in terms of bands. And then Minor Pleasure formed much later. I went back into the singer-songwriter scene here in New York after, and met Emily was my primary songwriting partner, and we just kind of clicked right away and started writing, weird pop songs.
I love that. And I also read that you also have you're producing and writing songs for a lot of television. Tell me more about that. Like, what are some of the shows that you've written songs for?
Well, I haven't been commissioned too often to write stuff for television. I've done it a couple times for movies, for indie movies.
Gotcha.
They're like, we can't afford Billie Eilish. Can you write something like this? And I'm like, sure. But most of what I do is I try to write songs that I still connect to, that I consider, they're still artist songs. They're songs I put my name on and release, but that I know can be used in sync. So that lend themselves to maybe being on like Netflix or, Love is Blind or, whatever shows. There's kind of a little bit of a formula, to be honest. So, and
interesting.
I like having some rules and boundaries, and then getting to kind of pour myself into that, if it makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
That's that. Yeah, we'll just edit that part out. So, and that part where I just kicked my Olight too. So one of the things that all of us have in common here tonight are the fact that we're all moms. So I want to touch on that just a little bit because that is really kind of how this show was formed originally. Just a little background on us. We were kind of around 10 years ago doing this. And then we have not been around for about 7 years and decided to get the band back together. So the interesting thing about that is that it was formed basically because we're all parents, right? And we wanted to have like a queer parenting talk show, as at the time there was nothing like that. So that brings me to, you have a child. How old is your child? Are you allowed to speak of them? Are they a teenager? Are you allowed to even mention their name, look at them, breathe?
Oh, my 10-year-old Ella is in the other room, and I bribed her. I was like, Mommy's going to be interviewed right now. So if you're really quiet, I will give you money for the online game you play. So, and she's doing great. Like, just as an update, like, she is following all the rules. I think she brushed her teeth already. She's a very good behavior.
Was it Roblox?
No, but Roblox is a big one. I got kind of into Roblox, and I maybe have spent some real cash in that game, but
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I have won several number one placings over my daughter, much to her chagrin. And like the outfits on Dress to Impress are just the worst things you've ever seen. And she's like, "How are you winning?" I'm like, "I guess you're not the only fashionista in the house, Taya."
I mean, did you like the Charlie update over the summer when Charlie XCX collabed with them? I was very impressed by that, actually.
I absolutely love that.
I'm so bad at that game. This is my outfit is like a t-shirt and pants that I've been in for 3 days, so I can't win a fashion game.
That's what my outfits are on Dress to Impress, and I'm winning first place all over the place.
I never know what to pick because when my kids are at their other parents' house, I play against my daughter. So I'll go into her screen and she's like, "Don't change any outfits. You're only allowed to visit." And I'm like, "You're in Dress to Impress. I have to change the outfit." Like, and I don't know what I'm doing. And she's trying to help me because I'm FaceTiming. And I was just like, "Can we just go back to the Wicked game? It's just more my speed."
We're a Weave family over here, so I'm
Weave family
behind all of you. I'm like, all right, come on, let's do Mario Kart. We'll do some Rock Band. I mean, it's not updated and it is not the greatest quality, but we have some Rock Band nights over here.
Rock Band's fun.
Oh yeah.
I told my daughter I'm not playing Brookhaven anymore. It makes me angry. There's no point to it. There's like, what are we doing here? We're just running around in circles. And she's like, "Follow me now. Follow me now." I'm like, "No, I will not follow you any further. This is ridiculous. There's nothing going on here." And then she's like, "I would like some money so I can buy some stuff to do this." Like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening? So I know that you spend a lot of your time working with youth and like volunteering your time to different like charities and different queer focused youth in your community especially. And did that come from being a parent, or is that something that you've always like felt dedicated to the youth?
I'll be totally honest. I fell out of that a little when I had my kid. It was actually something Dawn and I did more when we were just bouncing around freshly together and married. And we ended up volunteering at Rock Camp for girls, putting our time in there. And it was like a way we really wanted to give back. I mean, they were both drawn to kids. She works with children, she works at a school. So, kind of just made a lot of sense.
I think that actually speaks to how difficult it is too. Cause before you have kids, I think I was the best mom ever before I actually had kids because I thought I got mom. And then I actually became a parent. And I was like, I don't know anything. I had the world by the butt. So it's, being somebody that is active and like can relate and like had a lot of my own projects going on. And, volunteering was a huge thing. When you have a kid, screeching all because you're like, "Oh my God, I got to keep you alive. I have to make sure you're breathing." And like, "Oh gosh, everything I do now, you're going to hold me accountable. So I should probably cool my jets." But
I mean, it's all going to come out in therapy.
Right. Yeah.
That's
I'm
something
trying to
think-
find ways to pull the kids in. So in New York City, do you feel like you have a lot more access to be able to do things with your daughter and like try to spend that quality time, but then also feel like you can, give back to your community still?
It's been very hard to go back to volunteering. I think just your world explodes, right? When a kid comes and all of a sudden it's like you don't have enough quality time with your spouse. You don't have enough, feel like you have enough time for yourself. You don't have enough time with your kid. And so she really became the priority. And yeah, it's great. We can hop on a train and go to the Met or the Nintendo store or the aquarium or whatever. We have a lot of access to random crap to do. But sometimes it really is just like if I sit and I play Roblox with her for an hour, that's just as meaningful because it's just quality time we spend together. I really would like to get her into volunteering as well. I think she's old enough now to get back. And that would be a really great way, I think, for us to bond and get off the screens. So,
okay, you have a few bands that you're involved with. You're writing things for side projects. You have, we'll say a successful relationship. It's been going on for quite some time. So we're going to go with success. And you're keeping a child alive. Like, I'm barely keeping myself alive with a job. And I only have my kid part-time. Like, she's with her other mom. So I'm like, how do you, I'd love a tip.
A tip. Oh my God, I don't even know. Well, and my wife and I, we have a healthy relationship, but we've been through it. Like we definitely have gone to the edge and been, what are the logistics if it doesn't work out? Like let's we've been to that point before. So even though we're still together and we have a great relationship, I don't want to sugarcoat it for anyone and think that we're some kind of like miracle couple because it just doesn't exist,
No, not at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It takes so much work, and I think it for me. Trying to find that balance is so hard. I wish I had like a really concrete tip. I feel like we both put Ella first, and then we try to do the things that keep us mentally healthy. Donna works out, I do music, and then with that last little bit, we try to come together. And even if it's just falling asleep to a television show, and I do mean falling asleep because that's the first thing that happens as soon as I put it on. At least we kind of have a hierarchy of needs, and we can kind of go by that. I don't know if it's always perfectly balanced, but it's like a goal, So.
Oh no, there's never balance. I've heard that before many times. So there's never an actual balance. Like you're putting something into one corner or another corner or another. You're shuffling the shit around the room until it eventually gets cleaned up. So no, I totally understand that.
Yeah, I think I do worse when I try to multitask instead of saying I'm doing this now. If I'm gonna play Roblox, I'm gonna do that. And if even if it's for 20 minutes or whatever, that's better than me trying to answer emails and being on Roblox and like getting ready to go to work. I run sound at a live venue too for Pocket Change, but I try not to spread myself thin in that way. I try to pick a thing and do it. Maybe that
makes perfect sense. It's worked so far, so that's a great thing. I just know a lot of times especially have lots of family that's in the music space or in that really just creative space. And those creative bugs will just kind of hit you out of nowhere. So trying to manage a family and a relationship and a child and all the other, responsibilities of dishes and laundry, that can totally be a hard thing. So that's awesome that you've figured out your hierarchy of needs.
Yeah. Oh, a dishwasher changed my life. That probably saved my marriage, to be honest.
It's the little things, right?
Yeah.
That definitely save it. I think with the multitasking too, we think that we're being so efficient, but really we're not. I know as soon as I'm on my phone multitasking with my kids, they're like, excuse me, like you're spending time with me right now. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, fair, checked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because sometimes you have to take that call or you have to tell the person on the call, your kid's crying in the bathroom or whatever. Like, sometimes those things happen, but yeah. We do it.
Speaking.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just to show full disclosure. So this is my studio, but it's just a wall that I put up in my living room. So I don't know if you could see that.
That literally looks like every other music producer's studio.
But you wouldn't know that, right? Because it looks like I'm living the dream.
Speaking of which, I don't have a baby grand piano in my house either. This is a filter that we were all laughing about beforehand, because if you saw the chaos behind it, it just makes me look really bougie and rich right now, but that's not the case. The other thing I want to talk about when we're talking about your kid, and this is actually just kind of a personal question that I want the answer to, is what do you think about your daughter watching, seeing, or hearing about the Real L Word and your time on there?
Oh man. Well, she doesn't care about that right now. She just wants to watch the games, which she's not allowed to. But I mean, I think at some point she'll be curious, and she knows that we were on TV. She was very surprised that we were, and she was kind of proud of it too. I mean, her school is very open, and she's talks about her gay moms, and we're there all the time. But I mean, I don't think I'm not. I'm proud, but like I said, that I was part of that legacy. I think there's a couple of things I would probably be uncomfortable watching with her. Not of mine, but there's some
totally
racy stuff on there. So yeah, I mean, I think Dawn and I are pretty honest with Ella about pretty much everything. So I don't feel like it's something that is particularly, a big reveal or a difficult hurdle to cross when we get there. But like I said, she's not impressed right now.
Yeah, totally. My daughter's 9, so I know that they're not impressed with us at all right now.
Shame.
Never been more uncool in my life.
Has a whole skincare routine that I don't have.
Really?
Yeah, like every YouTuber skin thing, she's like, I have to do my skin. And I'm just like, what? And she's like, I can't use retinol. I'm not going to get even with retinol in it. And I'm like, do I need retinol?
At 49, I still don't have a skincare routine. Like, there is no reason that my face has not fallen yet. There's like zero reason that hasn't happened. So, what do you have working on? Do you have anything coming out? What's some stuff that you want people to listen to and hear?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I have an EP. I've been sitting on the songs forever. My wife has been very angry that I haven't released the stuff yet. So I'm putting that out on my birthday, which is in February. And I have this weird side project called Killbunny, which I just started throwing all of the stuff into this project that it was just too bonkers to put under my regular name. And so that's also coming out. The first EP is not so weird, but the second EP is just like, what genre is this even? So yeah, I'm like very excited to release new music. I mean, you all know it's busy. Life is busy. To just even finish it was like an achievement. So yeah, I'm really, really happy to put out into the world.
I feel it. And where can people listen to your music? Like, it's on all of the streaming services, maybe your website.
Yeah, so I mean, summerbingham.com will lead you there. And then I released music just under my name, Summer, and I was like Sia, Madonna, Cher, Summer.
Absolutely.
And then Killbunny is the other. It's just all one word, Killbunny. And that's Donna's favorite because it's dark and weird. Right, honey?
I love that.
Yep.
I love it. Jen, let's do some acknowledgments here.
Yes, we want to acknowledge all the queers that came before us, and I'm joining you from the Snuneymuxw First Nation. And if you want to know where you're at, check out native-land.ca to see where you're at.
Love it. Hallie, where can people get a hold of us?
They can get a hold of us on all of the platforms at The Qualk Show, and we will make sure and have all of Summer's information linked in the down belows of the down belows so that you can go check out all of her amazing work, music, and follow her journey.
Love that, especially when we're talking down below. I want to thank you for coming on the show today and catching us all up on your life, your family, your work, everything that you have going on. You can find Summer's music on all the streaming services under Clinical Trials, as well as the MNR. I can't. Someone's going to have to take that one. And there's great stuff there. I personally, today when I was listening to it, I loved your version of Yellow. That was really awesome under Clinical Trials. I thought it was such an exciting version. And we'll have Farrell next week. Thanks for, have a great week, everybody. And remember, there is always something to quack about. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.